Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, and today we'll be talking about the state of modern control. This video is sponsored by Spike's Academy. Just head to their website, use one of their courses which have been produced by the top players of the world, such as Polo Vito Rosa, and level up your skills. Just use promo code SKURA at checkout and get 20% off. Now, the state of modern control. As you may or may not have noticed, Cryptic Command is at its lowest for the last, year, 2 years, 3 years. It had its peak with Uro and Sanctuary, but these times are gone. These times are long gone, and there are a lot of culprits which have contributed to Cryptic's all-time lowliness. Now, first let's see what we got. What we were happy with. We got Prismatic Ending. Oh, that was a very good toy. I was very happy to get Prismatic Ending. It deals with anything. Ren and 6 early, Ether Vial early, Swords in a Blade deck, and also all the creatures you might worry about, right? Your 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, Liliana, just deal with it, right? I know, Relic of Progenitors if you're annoyed by it, Chalice of the Void, Snaring Bridge, just choose what you want to deal with and deal with it. Great card is with Snapcaster Mage, you've got multiple copies. I really like this card. We also got Hall of the Storm Giants, the card which I'm particularly high on, because it's a manland which comes in essentially untapped. By which I mean, on the first turn you play a dual land, which allows you to play a removal spell, and then this comes in beautifully untapped on the second turn to enable Counterspell, for example. Very nicely works on curve, and what I've just mentioned, Counterspell. Counterspell, the most efficient, the best counterspell ever. The literal counterspell, right? We were happy. People were claiming that Blue has got so many toys, it's going to overpower the whole format. We also got Riptide Laboratory. Oh, that was nice. We can just keep replaying Snapcaster Mages. But I don't know if you've even seen a list with Riptide Laboratory. If you've actually seen any control top placing list. We got Brainstone, which helps us set up stuff like Terminus, which I really enjoy. I'm not sure if it's going to be the best thing going forward, but we also have this at our disposal. So it seems like if you add all the tools we've already had with these, right? Miracle stuff, replaying Snapcaster Mage, the best counterspell, new manland, one of the best catch-all answers, we would be at least, like a playable tier 2 deck, right? But it just seems that if you want to play control, you just have to cut the cryptics and just play sorcery speed, tap out random stuff. And why is that? The reason is, sixfold. So first let's look at the pillars of the format right now. The first one is Urza's Saga. So Urza's Saga has enabled multiple decks, but its sheer power comes from the fact that in one seemingly innocuous card, you get 2 bodies, which are usually big, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6s. And in addition, you get, a pithing needle, a welding jar, a Mishra's bauble, which is annoying, right? And if somebody draws multiple, they just don't even have to play cards, actual cards, to pressure us, which is annoying. People play Spreading Seas and Field of Ruin now just to be able to contain this card. One of the shells which has really nicely adopted it is Colossus Hammer. So now they can sneak Hammer under permission and just put it on the battlefield, right? And also it increases the density of hammers in that deck, right? And Hammer is a deck which really makes you have to have removal. So this is the first type of deck which we can talk about. It really puts a strain on your removal spells. You have to have them at all times. You need to be instant speed preferably, which is not Prismatic Ending. Prismatic Ending helps with Hammer, but doesn't help when they're trying to kill you. So that's another thing. Now there's another pillar of the form, which is Shardless Agent. And Shardless Agent plays a key role in 2 decks. Crushing Footfalls, which creates Rhinos, and Living End. Now, in both of these decks, removal helps you stay alive, right? But it's bad. You want to have permission, you want to have some non-creature interaction. You don't want them to even be able to resolve the rhinos, be able to resolve the living end. Which already shows a problem, that you have to have a lot of removal, preferably instant speed, but you'd like to also have non-creature interaction, because then you have to keep up with them, right? They play Shardless Agent, they play Fawns in their deck. You have to now be able to kill Shardless, double Rhino, not get Fawned, and then keep up with the spells they follow it up with, which is very difficult. Now, so that's the second pillar, right? Urza Saga, Shardless Agent. The third pillar is Dragon Rage Channeler. So red decks. Very fast, very resilient red decks. And one thing is that they help surveil through the deck. So they always have gas. They never run out of stuff. They can adjust what they need. Game 1, they can just ditch all the removal spells against you and just not draw them. In addition, it's just a good body, which tends to kill you. Because every threat in their deck is so strong, they don't need to overextend into a sweeper. So you actually, like, Supreme Verdict stuff won't really help, right? We've got Ragavan. They play Ragavan and they just ask a question. Have you got a removal spell? Sure, you can take hit or 2 or 3 sometimes. But if they play your Teferi Time Raveler, or if they play your Snapcaster Mage, just flashback, their Serum Visions or Bolt, it's just annoying to play against. I mean, let alone them casting your Chase the Mind Sculptor, which is just a disaster. They even have a Holy Heat, which invalidates all and any planeswalkers we could play. Jace the Mind Sculptor? Teferi Hero of Dominaria? What? Just 1 mana, done. Right? You want to uptick your Jace against a Bolt deck? You just paid 4 mana to do nothing. Teferi at least draws a card. Obviously, you can Jace Brainstorm, but then you're just losing to a Bolt anyways, right? Or just Dragon Rage Channel attack. So our main card advantage engines have been basically invalidated. Also, you can't really defend Planeswalkers against a flurry of Rhinos, right? In addition, we've got Hedron Crabs. So mill, basically. Mill, for some reason, now is very good. We've got Thasha's Hideous Laughter and a lot of other toys which they use. And mill has historically been a terrible matchup. And now, you have to have removal for the crab. And their multiple crab draws are just devastating. But also, you want to be able to defend against their 3 and 2 mana mill spells, right? They've got the Archive Trap, which is very, very strong. But you can't really clog them, because now you have to also clog them preferably to kill them. But how to clog them? And that's another deck which just preys on us. Another new kid on the block, Risen Reef, right? Which is supremely annoying. Risen Reef keeps drawing cards, right? So if you don't kill a Risen Reef, you're just buried in card advantage, and you've got all these weird, annoying threats, such as Endurance, which can be flashed in. Sometimes they play Subtlety, which also further invalidates your Planeswalkers, right? They're quite resilient to removal because of cards like Risen Reef, and they keep drawing cards. The versions now play Teferi and Renin 6, so they even have this angle of attack. So you have to have removal for Risen Reef, but you also have something like Prismatic Ending or counter spells for the Planeswalkers, which again makes us have to have all the answers in the world at every point. And on top of all of that, we've got Lurrus decks, and some of the decks I've mentioned are also Lurrus decks, such as Colossus the Hammer or Ragavan Channeler decks. Sometimes Hedron Crab decks are also Lurrus decks, so they always have an additional card to play. So even if you decide you want to trim on your removal, for some reason, they will have exactly that. Even Control starts to use Lurrus to effectively combat the metagame. Just playing Lurrus yourself, right? So it's so difficult, especially when you see that all these cards, like Lurrus is a free card, 1 mana, 1 mana, 1 mana, 1 mana. Okay, 3 mana. Now it's 3 mana plus something which resolves, preferably 1 mana, 0 mana threats, and we want to combat it with 4 mana cryptics. It just doesn't seem feasible, much to my disappointment. Now, fear not. I will probably still play Cryptic. Because especially locally in paper, people don't play all these tier 1 decks. So locally, feel free to rock your Cryptics. However, if you want to play some kind of online event or big paper event where people really prepare, you might be in for a very sad surprise. So I just do hope that either some of our blue mages figure something out and make Cryptic playable again. And there is no or. I just really hope it happens, because I just can't imagine putting down my Cryptics and playing like a non-Cryptic control. That's just like it's a sacred cow, I guess, but it's not sacred cow for the power level. From the power level perspective, it's just something I really like to play, and I think Modern has always been about playing the decks you love and the cards you love, and Cryptic is exactly that. Thank you very much for listening to me. Please let me know in the comments below if you agree, if you also think Control is in a bad state, or maybe it's not. Maybe you think it's better. Maybe you just need to tune it to beat all of these decks. What color combination do you think would work best? Let me know. I'm really curious to hear your opinions. And a reminder at the end, this video is sponsored by Spikes Academy. Skura 20% off at checkout. Use their courses, learn and level up. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember, as always, to hold my hand and pass the turn together. And see you next time. Cheers.